The race to Roland Garros is hitting a fever pitch, and the stakes have never been higher for the tennis world. We are kicking things off with the latest on Carlos Alcaraz, who is currently bracing for a crucial set of medical tests regarding a serious wrist injury. Fans everywhere are on edge as the young superstar weighs whether he can realistically defend his French Open title next month after being forced to skip major tournaments in Barcelona and Madrid.
Your brand new iPhone deserves the best protection, and the iLume 3-Pack Screen Protector Plus 3-Pack Camera Lens Protector has you covered. Don't take risks with your iPhone. Click the link in the video description to shop now on Amazon.
But the drama doesn't stop with Alcaraz as the competition for the top spot intensifies. Jannik Sinner has officially overtaken the world #1 ranking following his stellar performance against Alcaraz in the Monte Carlo final. We are tracking how this power shift is impacting the entire tour as Sinner prepares to dominate the clay court season while his rival stays on the sidelines. It is not just the men feeling the weight of the circuit as we dive into the inspiring yet challenging journey of Lois Boisson. The rising star has returned to the game after a difficult injury nightmare and is speaking out about the medical missteps that nearly derailed her career. Her story is a stark reminder of the grit required to compete at the professional level. Finally, we are analyzing why experts like Greg Rusedski believe Carlos Alcaraz needs an urgent schedule overhaul to protect his future. Between the mounting physical toll and the temptation of exhibition appearances, is it time for him to rethink his approach to survive the tour? We have the full breakdown on what this means for his legacy. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and ring that bell for all the latest updates. Ever wondered what it feels like when the next generation of tennis titans clashes head-on? We are currently witnessing a massive shift in the sport, but right now, all eyes are on Carlos Alcaraz as he faces a career-defining moment. The Spaniard is currently stuck in limbo, awaiting some absolutely crucial test results on a lingering wrist injury that could derail his entire defense at the French Open. It is a nerve-wracking situation for any athlete, especially when you consider the sheer intensity of the competition he is facing right now. Alcaraz himself didn't mince words after his recent loss in the Monte Carlo final, openly admitting that Jannik Sinner simply played much better than him. It is that kind of humility mixed with raw talent that makes this rivalry so compelling. Even fellow rising star Arthur Fils was brutally honest about the experience, jokingly admitting that these guys absolutely kicked his backside when he tried to take them on. We have seen Sinner riding high, too, coming off a massive maiden title win at Indian Wells, where he dismantled Medvedev with clinical precision. The question is, can Alcaraz heal up in time to reclaim his crown, or is the torch already being passed? Drop a comment below and let us know your pick for Roland Garros. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the state of men's tennis, make sure to hit that subscribe button for more updates on the tour. After all, in a sport this fast-paced, the only thing more unpredictable than the ball is the player holding the racket. Could the next big star of tennis be sidelined during his biggest moment? Carlos Alcaraz is currently in a race against time, and it's not against a rival on the court, it's against his own wrist. The 7-time Grand Slam champion is holding his breath, waiting for the results of critical medical tests that will determine if he can defend his crown at the French Open next month. It all started earlier this April at the Barcelona Open. What seemed like a minor setback quickly escalated when scans revealed the injury was far more serious than anyone in his camp originally anticipated. He had to pull out of Barcelona and subsequently missed the Madrid Open, marking the second consecutive year that injury has kept him away from his home crowd in Spain. It is a tough pill to swallow for a competitor of his caliber, especially after he just walked away with the Laureus World Sportsman of the Year award. Speaking to TVE, Alcaraz struck a tone of cautious optimism, emphasizing that the upcoming round of testing will be the deciding factor for his season. He is being forced to exercise a level of patience that doesn't come naturally to a 22-year-old in the prime of his career. As he put it himself, he has to listen to his body. If he pushes too hard now, he risks a long-term disaster, but if he plays it too safe, he might miss the glory of Paris. Coming off a recent loss to Jannik Sinner in the Monte Carlo Masters, where he also surrendered the world #1 spot, Alcaraz has plenty of reasons to be hungry for a comeback. But with the French Open kicking off on May 24th, the clock is ticking loudly. Will we see him back on the clay in Rome, or will Paris have to wait? We want to hear your thoughts. Do you think he should risk it for the French Open, or prioritize his long-term health? Smash that like button if you're rooting for a healthy return, and make sure to subscribe for more updates as this story develops. Remember, in tennis, the biggest matches aren't always played on the court. Sometimes, they're the ones we play against our own physical limitations. Ever wonder what it takes to bounce back when the world is watching? Today, we are tracking 3 massive stories shaping the tennis landscape. First, let's talk about Lois Boisson. She turned heads as a sensation at Roland Garros, but that momentum was cruelly cut short by a brutal injury nightmare. In a candid reflection on her recovery, Boisson didn't mince words, suggesting that the medical management of her situation left much to be desired. It is a sobering reminder that behind every highlight reel, there is a physical toll that the cameras often miss. Speaking of preparation, Iga Swiatek is looking absolutely lethal heading into the Madrid Open. And guess who helped her dial in that form? None other than Rafael Nadal. Swiatek admitted this was arguably the best practice week she has ever had before a clay court swing, proving that even at the top, a little bit of wisdom from the king of clay goes a long way. Finally, the elite of the elite have been recognized. Carlos Alcaraz and Aryna Sabalenka have been officially crowned as the Laureus World Sportsman and Sportswoman of the Year. It is the ultimate validation of their dominance on the court, cementing their status as the faces of the modern game. Which of these players do you think will dominate the upcoming season? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to hit subscribe for your daily dose of tennis pulse. At the end of the day, champions are not just defined by their trophies, but by how they navigate the long, unpredictable road to get there. Is Carlos Alcaraz pushing himself to the brink of a career-defining disaster? The tennis world is holding its breath as a wrist injury threatens to sideline the young superstar from next month's French Open. And honestly, we have to ask, was this entirely avoidable? It is a brutal reality of the sport, but sometimes the hardest lesson to learn is when to hit the brakes. For the second year in a row, Alcaraz has attempted the grueling Monte Carlo to Barcelona double, and for the second time, he is paying the physical price. While legends like Rafael Nadal made this transition look routine during their prime, Alcaraz is finding that his own body has different limits. Last year, a minor injury in Barcelona forced him out of Madrid, though he managed to bounce back and clinch the French Open title anyway. But this time feels different, and the stakes are much higher. You have to wonder about the pressure to perform at home, the massive appearance fees, the pride of playing before Spanish crowds, and the drive to collect every available ranking point. It is easy to understand why a 22-year-old would want to play everything, but the cost of that ambition is suddenly looking astronomically high. Look at his rival, Jannik Sinner, who has opted for a much more cautious, calculated approach to his schedule. Sinner is playing the long game, prioritizing recovery to ensure he is at his peak when the Grand Slams actually arrive. Former British #1 Greg Rusedski hit the nail on the head. With a massive Nike contract and a long career ahead of him, Alcaraz doesn't need to chase every appearance fee. He needs a schedule that prioritizes longevity over immediate gratification. Even his former coach, Juan Carlos Ferrero, has been vocal about the need for a change in strategy. If Alcaraz misses Roland Garros, it will be a bitter pill to swallow, but it might be the wake-up call he desperately needs. Tennis is a marathon, not a sprint, and if he wants to stay at the top for the next decade, he has to learn that sometimes the best move is the one you don't make. What do you think? Should Alcaraz sacrifice his home tournaments to protect his health, or is the risk worth the reward? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Hit that like button if you enjoyed this deep dive, and don't forget to subscribe for more tennis analysis. Remember, talent gets you to the top, but smart management keeps you there.